Shaolin Punk.
Yeah. And
you're
Simon the Cut.
And we are, if you don't know by now, two gentlemen from Portsmouth, kind of. I'm, of course, broadcasting live from Ho Chi Minh City, or near there, and Simon is actually in Portsmouth. So one of us is Pompey, one of us is Eclectic.
Pompey can be eclectic. Well, it can be part of eclecticism, I think.
Well, that's true. But we're here to talk about
comedy duos.
And we've got a second part.
Part 2.
Are we doing these in any kind of order or semblance?
Probably not.
Or semblance of order?
No. Well, we have got an order to the comedy duos, haven't we? We've mixed them up a bit.
We picked 10 of our favourites each, and we haven't had any matches yet that we both thought, I've got that one in my list. So that's quite good, isn't it? There's a lot of comedy duos out there. For those who missed the last podcast, what is a comedy duo, Simon?
What is a comedy duo? Well, we talked about quite a few things, didn't we? We said there was normally a straight guy and a funny guy, and it's about the differences between them, the interplay between the differences in character. But it doesn't always have to be a funny guy and a straight guy, as we will see. If we manage to squeeze in black books later, then you'll see it can be a misanthrope and a sort of
books.
A visionary.
So
or
far,
something.
we've had fat and thin, we've had little and large, not the little and large duo, but the sizes.
Yeah, short.
We've had old and young.
Yeah.
We've had all kinds, but it's usually we find these two opposing opposites, the remembers, and we had a father and son as well, which is the young and old. Carrying on with the family theme, my next pick for comedy duo is a very famous one. It's been awarded the best comedy from England many times over, and it's to do with two brothers. Any idea who this could be, so Mr. Eddie?
Is it, not that I know because I prepared the list, but is it the Chuckle Brothers?
You're wrong.
Who is it?
Del Boy and Rodney. I got you.
Character brothers, not real life brothers.
Yeah. Well, this is two actors. One is called David Jason, and the other is called Richard. Is it Richard Lyndhurst?
Nicholas.
Nicholas. I got names wrong.
Yeah.
Sorry, Richard. Anyway, they play two brothers in this show called Only Fools and Horses. Very famous show. You must have seen it. If you're British and watching this, chances are you've seen it. But yeah, they had a significant age gap.
Yeah.
Not as huge as the stepdaughter and son, and that's normal to have a dad. And anyway, I digress.
All I can hear is your budgie in the background.
Oh, sorry, the bird's out. Yeah, that's our special guest today.
Special guest.
But it's good. So this, even though this was not really a comedy duo as you think of Laurel and Hardy, Only Fools and Horses had lots of different characters in it. It's a sitcom. The heart of the story was these two characters, Derek Del Boy Trotter, and Rodney Trotter. It was written by the talented John Sullivan, who wrote many good comedy series. This was his most famous, and it was critically and popularly acclaimed. The series received numerous awards, including recognition from BAFTA, the National Television Awards, and the Royal Television Society, as well as winning individual accolades.
Just like Morgan and Wise, the Christmas specials were very popular, weren't they? Had really high viewing figures.
That's right.
And they had an old granddad, their old granddad who lived with them.
And he changed
he died, and then they picked up
another granddad.
They picked up an Uncle Albert instead.
Yeah, Captain Birdseye, he looked like. But yeah, they worked him in. They missed having a granddad character, so they worked a new one in. A bit like Red Dwarf when they got the android back after popular demand. But I digress. Incorporating aspects of Cockney culture set in London. Del Boy is the older brother.
He's a wheeler dealer, isn't he? A trader.
Yeah, he's a shady guy.
Dodgy dealings.
And Del Boy, if you say Del Boy to most people, they know he's a dodgy guy. So Del Boy's known for his broken French phrases, which are usually completely out of context, and a variety of British and Cockney catchphrases, including "He who dares wins." This time next year, we'll be millionaires. Kushti, lovely jubbly. And you know it makes sense.
Yeah.
Which usually he says to his customers after they've agreed on a deal. "Shut up, you tart, you plonker," he usually said to his younger brother Rodney. Rodney's is the younger brother who Derek affectionately refers to him as Rodders. Rodney's support with Del with all his schemes, but is not as confident as his brother. Dale's comments whenever Rodney makes a mistake, including plonker, wally, twonk, dipstick, and tarts, became notable catchphrases during the series. It is revealed in numerous episodes such as Big Brother, The Long Legs of the Law, and The Royal Flush that Rodney is appalled by Dale's behaviour, including lying to girls they want to date. So it's all the heart of the show is all about these two brothers that love each other but have big problems, and Dale's convinced that he's going to get rich with his dodgy schemes, and Rodney doesn't believe him, but he sort of goes along with it. But he tries to find his own way in life, and over the course of the many series, they get married, and their lives progress.
Not to each other.
Not to each other, you understand, on their own.
And the whole idea of the title, Only Fools and Horses, is from an old English saying, which is only fools and horses work.
That's right.
Yeah, and that's the idea. That neither of them work, and they just bring in as much money as they can from doing deals and dodgy trading. Yeah.
Well, I'm going to share my screen. If you want to stop sharing your one.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
All right, so this is a clip. This is a clip from Only Fools and Horses. Check it out.
But you were a 6-year-old little nipper when God smiled on Mum and made her die. 2 months after that, Dad packed his bags and left us to fend for ourselves. It was me that kept us together. Nothing to do with Grandad. He was an out-of-work lamplighter waiting for gas to make a comeback. I grafted 19, 20 hours a day to put groceries on that table. All right, it wasn't always double legal, but you ate the finest food that was going.
All you ever give me was TV dinners and convenience foods. If it wasn't frozen or dehydrated, we didn't eat it. If you'd have been in charge of a Last Supper, it would have been a takeaway.
Well, anything was better than the salmonella and chips that Grandad used to knock up. Oh.
Look, don't get me wrong. I'm grateful.
I don't want your gratitude, ungrateful little git. I don't know what is the matter with you, Rodney. Sometimes I hesitate to tell people that you're my brother.
Well, I always say I'm your social worker.
Do you mind telling me exactly what it is that's made your life a misery?
Well, you've always treated me like a child, didn't you? I was the only sixth former in my grammar school who wore short trousers.
Yeah, well, I got them cheap, didn't I?
I was 15, Del. I was growing hairs and things. My legs were like Italian footballers. And you never let me do anything on my own, do you? You even had to help me with my GCE studies.
You passed in 2 subjects.
I failed in the other 8, Del. I mean, you embarrass me. That's why I never bring women home.
Oh, you know some women, do you? Cool, that's a turn-up for the book. The only bird I've ever heard you mention was old Shanghai Lil from the Art College in Basingstoke. Even then you had to drug her before you get your leg over.
No, I didn't.
What, you didn't drug her or didn't get your leg over?
You're suffocating me, Del. I'm getting out of this house. I'm going to prove to you I can survive on my own. I'm going to the pub.
What, to prove you can survive on your own?
No, to get legless. I don't need you no more, Del. I don't need you for nothing.
Here we go. Lend us a tenner.
Del, I was just wondering.
I think he's very much like you, Grandad.
What? Dignified in defeat?
No, a ponce.
Might have to edit that last word.
Yeah.
That's a bad word today, apparently.
Yeah.
I don't know. Hey,
Great writing, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's all about the heart of these two characters, and you care about them. And even though they're both, well, Rodney's more lovable. And Derek's a very dodgy guy, but he cares about his brother. Deep down, he does care. So there is this quite good depth and layers to the characters. And there's the Trigger. There's all the other good characters that make the whole show as well.
And it's interesting there's a little bit about the steptoe and son that we talked about in the last episode, where he feels trapped. So, like in that clip, you see that Rodney feels trapped and he wants to escape from that sort of engulfing, all-encompassing relationship, you know.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, and that's a family theme. And that's obviously what makes, because you can write comedy sketches, but if you're doing a show like a sitcom or something, you've got to really have deep depth to the characters and relatable, and that's what makes the comedy even funnier, obviously, because comedy comes from a place of.
I think it comes from despair, really, doesn't it? I mean, a lot of great comedians suffered from very bad depression.
Yeah,
I mean, Tony Hancock
actually,
springs to mind.
Tony Hancock, yeah. And I heard there was a guy called Rowan Atkinson who suffered quite a lot of depression. Do you know anything about him, Simon?
I know a lot about him, but I didn't know he suffered from depression.
Yeah, I think he has. He's a very quiet, insular, extroverted guy. I knew someone that worked on a film with him. He worked on one of his James Bond. What was it called?
Oh, Johnny English.
Johnny, yeah, he worked on the
Johnny
Hong Kong
English,
one.
Yeah, he did a few of those movies. He was originally, I think, he originally became well known in Not the 9 O'Clock News, which was a comedy sketch show with a team of comedians.
Right. Yeah. Okay. And wasn't some of Monty Python involved with that, or
I can't remember who was in it, to be honest. I think Smith and Jones might have been in it.
Oh right. Yeah.
Yeah. I think there were a few in there. Yeah. But but he became super famous, of course, with the arrival of Blackadder.
Blackadder, yeah, historical kind of comedy show. So they did. I think this was the first kind of historically based period comedy series. It was. They took the famous, like, you remember my brilliant Origins of Pompey and going through history. I did watch some Blackadders to try and get in the mood. That's why it might have come across as a bit silly, like the Half-a-Knuts and things like that. But Blackadder, the first series was during the medieval times.
Yeah, it was called The Blackadder, the first series.
The Blackadder, that's
and
right.
he actually wrote it, didn't he? Co-wrote it.
Yeah.
But the second one onwards was just called Blackadder. And it was called Blackadder the Second, Blackadder the Third, Blackadder the Fourth.
But what was the comedy duo about it?
But it was a different writer. I think Ben Alton wrote the others.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. He wrote the young ones
with
as well.
Someone else, yeah.
But why was this a duo?
Well, we've picked this out as a duo. You could argue they're not really a comedy duo, but we're saying Tony Robinson and Rowan Atkinson because they played Blackadder and Baldrick. And Baldrick is a much-loved character and sort of side man. He plays Blackadder's, what would you call him? Batman, his sort of helper.
Sidekick.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it comes across as he's the thickest guy, and Blackadder's quite intelligent, but somehow.
Well, that's interesting because it changed. Because the first episode, actually, Blackadder is very silly and stupid.
Yeah, the first series,
and Baldrick is actually quite smart, and he's the one who comes up with the schemes and that. But there's a running joke in there, a continuity gag, which is, well, they say, "I have a cunning plan."
Plan.
Yeah, and then it's usually Baldrick who says that, and then he comes out with a ridiculous scheme, a ridiculous plan to get out of the situation they're in, which could never work or is totally ridiculous.
Right, and they don't usually use it, or they use it
and it goes wrong. Yeah.
So,
but the interplay between them is great. They play off each other really well. So,
and again, it's the language. They play with words very far, and they have a lot of metaphoric language. A lot of metaphors. They relate things and people to other things and people. And it's clever. The humour is very witty. I particularly like. And Hugh Laurie, and
Stephen Fry. Yeah, they appeared in it a lot.
We've come to them. They were in it a lot. And Rick Mail was another one we're going to cover. He was in it. And Adrian Edmondson made an appearance. Yeah. Lots of famous people.
Rick Mail played a bit part, I think, in most series, where he usually played someone called Flashheart, who was like a really bold, brave, over-the-top, vain character.
Yeah, like a Biggles, but with a bit of
raunch. Yeah. But in the first series, he played Mad Gerald. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah, that's true. The first series was very different. It was still good, but as it matured as it went on, and they did another one later on, but the fourth series was set during the First World War, and that's what we're going to see a clip of. It was here's an example of some Blackadderness.
Yeah, a lot of people think this is the best series. This is the last series Blackadder goes for. So this is about being
back and forth.
Oh
That was a
yes, he
one-off.
did a couple of short ones or a couple of odd ones. Yeah, but
Yeah.
So this was about them being in the trenches in the First World War. It's very clever.
Okay.
And very
Let's give it a go.
historically accurate as well. Really good. Yeah.
Trick I picked up in the Sudan. We tell HQ that I've gone insane, and I will be invalided back to Blighty before you can say a wibble. A poor, gormless idiot.
Well, I'm a poor gormless idiot, sir, and I've never been invalided back to Blighty.
Yes, Warwick, but you never said a wibble. Now, ask me some simple questions.
Right. What is your name?
Wibble.
What is 2 plus 2?
Oh, wibble, wibble.
Where do you live?
London? Hey? A small village on Mars, just outside the capital city. Wibble.
All the men present and correct, sir. Ready for the off, eh?
I'm afraid not, Lieutenant. I'm just off to Hartlepool to buy some exploding trousers.
Come again, sir. Have you gone barking mad?
Yes, George, I have. Cluck, cluck, gibber, gibber, my old man's a mushroom, etc. Go send a runner to tell General Melchett that your captain has gone insane and must return to England at once.
But, sir, how utterly ghastly for you. I mean, well, you'll miss the whole rest of the war.
Yes, very bad luck. Beep.
Right. Beep. Now, Baldric, I'll be back as soon as I can.
Papa.
Whatever you do, don't excite him.
Fat chance. Now, all we have to do is wait. Baldric, fix us some coffee, will you? And try to make it taste slightly less like mud this time.
Not easy, I'm afraid, Captain.
Why is this?
'Cause it is mud. We ran out of coffee 13 months ago.
So every time I've drunk your coffee since, I have in fact been drinking hot mud.
With sugar.
Which, of course, makes all the difference.
Well, it would do if we had any sugar, but unfortunately we ran out New Year's Eve 1915. Since when, I've been using sugar substitute.
Which is?
Dandruff.
Brilliant.
Still, I could add some milk this time. Well, saliva.
No, thank you, Boric. Call me Mr. Picky, but I think I'll cancel.
That's probably because you're mad, sir.
Well, quite.
Yeah, it's
I
excellent.
love it. You can. It's one of those shows that just hooks you and you can watch it. Beep.
But it's so
Beep.
accurate. I mean, even like
Papa.
the last episode was quite poignant towards the end, wasn't it? And so they started off
Yeah.
trying to get out of
the wall.
going over the top of the trenches.
Top.
And then they finished with lining up and having to go over the top, and it was all sort of melancholic and poignant, and it was
And then
great.
Baldric said, I have a cunning plan. And they said,
Yeah.
not now, Baldric. And then it got really serious. And I was like, what? And poignant. And then they go over the top. And it's just so... after all that comedy, it just ends on this really tragic sad note.
I think it really captured the sort of
was
sense of
brilliant.
madness
Yeah.
about the way men were getting slaughtered in the First World War by the thousands. And
Yeah, well, it wasn't intended to have that ending, apparently, but they put it in at the last minute. They just had like a brainwave that should end like that. So it's beautiful.
excellent
Yeah.
note. And interestingly, Chris Barry was also in that. Chris Barry of Red Dwarf and
was he?
British Empire fame, and Spitting Image.
It was in
Yeah.
which one? The fourth
Can you
one?
remember which character it was? No, it was in the third one.
Oh, I remember. Yeah, I remember Adrian Emerson is the German guy in
Yeah.
the fourth one, and
He played the Baron von Richthofen, wasn't it? The Red Baron.
Actually, I've seen them all, but the third one I've watched the least, so I can't recall at the moment.
So
I
Chris
probably would if I saw the
Barry
clips.
played the revolutionary Frenchman who'd taken over the local embassy in London,
Right.
the French embassy, and he
Yeah.
captured Baldric and Blackadder and another person who was a character in that episode. And he was he was trying to torture them basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, very funny clip though. He's very good at it. Yeah.
Oh, he's a brilliant actor. Right, well, let's move on to our next one, which is another sketch show with two guys and this comedy duo. It was kind of a straight man, funny man. No, well, it wasn't. They both could be quite serious and both could be quite funny. This was during the 80s, and they performed on sketch writing with a show called Don't Stop Now. before they did their main show, which is called A Bit of Hale and Pace. They also appeared in The Young Ones 3 times in the episodes Flood, Nasty and Time. So they were in a lot of shows before they got their own special. And 1986 Christmas they did this special, and then that ended up with a full series in 1988, and it won the Silver Rose of Montreal as well as the Press Prize. So it's ITV. This was Channel 3. I never called it Channel 3, but it's the third one, and we had 4 channels back then.
Yeah, we were spoiled for choice.
Yeah,
They were in that brilliant Gravedigger sketch in The Young Ones, weren't they?
Yeah,
Where the
do you
woman,
dig graves?
woman walks along and says, "Do you dig graves?"
Yeah, they're all right.
They're all right.
But I remember Hale and Pace mostly as these stone-faced bouncers, and these like little kids as well. Where they were quite good. They weren't massive like some of these others, but they were well known and well liked for their time. Let's have a quick look at some Hale and Pacery.
I have to say, I'm not a fan, but yeah, let's have a look at it.
I quite like them. That's what's on my list because, and especially this was one of my favourites. Mr. Plumbery, the butcher.
Here you go, Mrs. Welts. You mind the step on the way out and give that lovely little daughter of yours a kiss from me.
Thank you, Mr. Plumber.
All right, lover. Hello there, young Anthony.
Hello, Mr. Plumbury. Your van, it's passed on a yellow line. I'm afraid you're going to have to pay a fine.
Oh, dear. How's your mum?
She's well.
Got a couple of old pig's trotters in there for her.
Thank you.
With some nice chicken livers for you, Vera.
Thanks, Mr. Plumbury.
Now, about this van.
All right. This time we'll turn a blind eye, eh? I'll see you around.
Bye then.
Bye-bye.
Mr. Plumbury. Hello there, young Anthony. Couple of chump chops for you.
All right, carry on.
Who's in charge of this little operation?
Hello there, young Anthony.
You're not connected with this, are you?
Afraid so. Got your promotion, I see. How's that old granny of yours? Partial to a nice bit of fresh kidney, as I recall.
Look, Mr. Plumbury, I'm sorry.
Go right nice and old baked pie, listen.
There's nothing here for us, lads. Come on, let's go.
You have been found guilty of serial murder, high treason, and trying to pervert the course of justice. I have no alternative but to give you 25 life sentences to run concurrently. Nice bit of sirloin. Suspended.
So yeah, the comedy was actually compared to like Two Ronnies and Blackadder, I guess, and I was talking about sketch shows more, but it was more simple but funny. You know, they tend to, like Two Ronnies had clever sketches. They used to overdo a bit, milk it, but this was more simple, which they kind of ended a bit better, but they were simpler, not as clever. It had its place. I mean, the working class lads like a bit of Hale and Pace more than the people that like Stephen Fry and Hugh and Laurie, bits of Fry and Laurie.
I remember it being popular at the time, but to me, they didn't stand out from the crowd, so I would put them among all of the other comedy duos of that era, like Cannon and Ball, Little and Large.
They were more. Yeah.
Smith and Jones. You know, all of those ones.
All those.
None of those really stand out for me from each other. You know, they were just the stock comedy duo of the time for Saturday nights. You know,
they were the Stockade and Waterman of comedy. Yes, yeah, but we put them in there because I quite enjoyed them. I have good memories of them. They used to be on an evening, and it's good just to relax and watch them and not strain your brain and enjoy the simple humour. Sometimes it's got its place. It's like when you watch a nice intellectual movie or an action crazy blockbuster. You know, it's a similar kind of. Sometimes you just want to switch your brain off and laugh a bit. But who we got next, which is our number 10, so we're halfway there.
I don't know. You've got the list. Who's up?
Well, I'm thinking you would know because it's two really cranky weirdos. They did the most weird, bizarre, abstract, off the wall humour ever from.
Is this Reeves and Mortimer?
Yeah, Reeves and Mortimer. I'd say they were weird. I kind of used to watch it and go, "What the."
Yeah, see, again, I'm not a big fan of theirs because I just feel like they've only really got one thing that they do, and that's they just make up stuff as bizarre and weird as they can think of, you know.
But I started watching this.
It's quite original, though. You've got to give them credit for innovation, I think. There's nothing copied from anyone else, really.
Yeah, it was very unique and original, and I started watching this show. Owls out of 10 or something. I've forgotten what was on it. Paul Merton was on it.
9 out of 10 cats?
9 out of 10 cats, not owls. I'm thinking of... but yeah, Reeves was on it, and Morton, one of them, and he was actually so funny. And he had a really amazing kind of sense of humour. He told these stories, and I went back and watched Reeves and Morton again, and actually clicked more. And the more you watch it, it's a bit like Fast Show and some of these... catchphrase show, but not. It's different. The more you get used to the humour and you get used to the weird stuff, and it starts becoming clever, and you see actually there's some genius in amongst all this weirdo-ness. I think we should give an example because the only way, if you haven't seen it, is
I remember seeing them on that show where they had Ulrika Johnson on there, and they just kept going on and on about her all the time and sort of doing silly stuff around her and trying to show off as if they were trying to pull her, you know.
Well, I don't blame them there.
Yeah.
Anyway, Reeves and Mortimer, let's have a little look.
Sunderland Independent Film Corporation presents Falling Down with Michael Douglas. I've set the scene. He's been stuck in his car
I
and
chose
it's
this for
hot
you.
day, so he's got a real knack on, I'm telling you. Now listen up, he's already started a couple of rough lads on a mound somewhere near this shop. But oh no, he's going over to the local shop, and the bloke in there is a well-known bloke for overcharging. Well, what is going to happen when Mr. Michael Douglas goes in this shop?
Yeah.
Ooh, it's hot. What do you got to drink in here?
I'm looking drink tablets.
Yeah, I'll take a little, no tango.
That'll be £1.
£1 for 10? I've only got 50p, okay? I'll take, Panda Pop.
Panda Pop, 70 pence.
70? I can get 4 for £1 in Landis.
Oh, yeah. What's Landis then? I'm not bothered.
That's your attitude?
I'm not worried about that. It'll come back in shape.
Yeah, well, it's a hot day out there. How about this?
You're my topic!
Yeah.
Get shape back! Get out of here, you daft twat!
Here's your 25p.
You daft twat! The topic is right! Good luck, Mr. Michael Douglas. Good luck.
Wow.
Michael Douglas.
Well, that's quite interesting because there's a few things we can take from that.
Yeah.
It's basically, if you're not from England and you don't know the northern accent, the Sunderland is kind of mocking and riffing on the northern people that are loud and brash. And it's also...
and the American film Falling Down.
Yeah, he didn't lose his cool because if you haven't seen the film Falling Down with Michael Douglas, I used to think of our mate Graham Marsh as the same guy because he used to wear this white shirt and have a similar haircut, and he used to... when we were at the Portsmouth ITEC, and I always thought one day he had this weird calmness. I thought one day he's going to lose it. So, and in the film, he loses it in a McDonald's type establishment, because they won't serve his breakfast. It ticks over to lunch, and they're like, "We can't do that." And he's like, "Really?" And he's had a bad day already and left his car behind, and in the big traffic jam.
That happened to me and Greg's the other day.
Oh shit!
I stayed perfectly calm.
Yeah,
but I didn't get my bacon roll because I missed breakfast.
How long did you queue up for?
Oh, I was the only one in there. It was all right.
Oh, that's all right. Well, but in Michael Douglas's case, he pulls out a gun and points it at the guy and says, "You better get me my effing breakfast, mofo." And they get him his breakfast, I think.
But he does it quite nicely, doesn't he? He's very polite and he's like, no one's going to get hurt, I'm not doing anything, I just want some breakfast. Well, he's pointing a gun at them.
The little guy of the two, the guy running the shop in that clip, he was I heard a story, it was on that Cats show, he said he didn't, it was the other guy, I'm not sure which is which, I think it was Mortimer's the short guy, wasn't he?
Yes, yeah.
Mortimer said the other guy was quite famous on stand-up, and he used to get Mortimer involved in his stuff, and they made really good friends. And he got him on the show, and he never acted or done anything, like being on TV. And he forced him to be on the show, and it got a hit.
He's actually funnier than Reeves, I think.
Yeah, I think so. I think. And then remember they did that song Dizzy, that cover of Dizzy. And that was #1 in the charts or something. And they did a lot of stuff, and they were quite big in the day, and quite weird. But that clip didn't really show how weird they are. The other stuff's much weirder.
It's definitely about bizarre stuff and the avant-garde, isn't it? The crazier they can make it, and the more original they can make it, the more they like it. You know.
Yeah.
And I suppose it has its place, but it's not really my cup of tea, I don't think.
Yeah, it's not my cup of bother either. Fry and Laurie. Also not really my cup of tea, but I thought I'd slap them in there.
Yeah.
Stephen Fry and Hugh Laurie. You just saw Hugh Laurie in the Blackadder clip, who played the skinny kind of sergeant.
Do you know what? I don't remember a single sketch from their show. A bit of Fry and Laurie. But,
I remember a couple.
But I remember all of the stuff they did in Blackadder because they were superb on their own or when they were in a scene together. They were brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Fry and Laurie, although they had their own show like Hale and Pace kind of thing, but it was much more upper class and intellectual. They're a bit of two Ronnies, kind of cleverer humour. They were both Oxford or Oxbridge graduates, very posh.
Cambridge, yeah. They were in Cambridge Footlights.
That's right,
was,
with Monty Python.
Yeah, which was the local theatre group,
Yeah, and they appeared in quite a lot. They were even in the young ones as well. And maybe some others, but they were English comedy double act. Again, not really straight man, and I guess it was sort of a straight man and a funny man. I don't know. Stephen Fry was more the straight man. Usually,
I don't know if you could.
Yeah, it varied.
I don't think you could pick that out really. I think they were quite similar, unusually quite similar.
But did you know they met in 1980 through a mutual friend called Emma Thompson?
Yeah, she was in Cambridge Footlights as well.
Yeah, and she was in the Bambi episode, I think, as well.
Was she?
Like one of the. Was she? I'm sure that was her with when they all were going to smash the Oiks. I think she was, didn't it?
Oh, I think that might be her. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was her. I can't confirm it tonight.
It's Ben Alton, isn't it? It's Ben Alton, Emma Thompson, Fry and Laurie, who were the rich kids team on University Challenge.
It worked well. They worked well as posh, and this show was like. It ran for 4 seasons with 26 episodes, including a 36-minute pilot. As in the two Ronnies, elaborate wordplay and innuendo were staples. It frequently broke the fourth wall as well. Characters would revert to their real-life actors mid-sketch, or the camera would often pan off set into the studio. So they tried different things to make it a bit, for a bit of variety. It was pretty clever and fun.
But they also did a series called Jeeves and Wooster.
That's right, yeah.
Which was originally books by P.G. Wodehouse, I think, wasn't it?
P.G. Wodehouse, yes.
Yeah, one is a butler and one's the wealthy guy. Yeah.
His books, I've read some of his books. I love his humour, and they did a good job of transferring it to the screen, yeah.
And that was very popular, wasn't it? That was more popular than their comedy show, than their sketch show. Yeah.
Yeah, I could have shown some of that, couldn't I? But anyway, we got a bit of. This is quite a good sketch, actually. This is called Psychiatrists.
Nice.
So, I think it would be useful if we started by your telling me something about your state of mind at the moment. How would you describe it? Would you say you were happy or depressed, confident or unsure of yourself? What words would you use to describe your mood, would you say? Take your time.
Fascinating, absolutely fascinating. Your problem seems to centre around the delusion that you are a psychiatrist. And that everyone you speak to is a patient of some sort. This is a rare but not unheard of syndrome.
I think perhaps it'd be helpful now if we talked a little bit about your mother. What are your feelings towards your mother?
Extraordinary, really very intriguing. Now, why mother? Was your mother affectionate towards you when you were small?
Affection? Affection, that's interesting. I wonder why you chose that word particularly. I think it would be helpful if you told me at this point, if you can remember, whether or not you were breastfed as an infant.
Already you see we're focusing in on breasts. Good, good. Now, how do you feel about breasts now? Do they frighten you? Because again, this is quite common.
Breasts and fear. Oh, now that is very interesting. Breasts and fear. Fascinating association. Where do you think your father fits into that association?
Right. Absolutely classic father. All right, so let's imagine a line, shall we? We have fear at one end, breasts at the other. Now, where would you place your father on that line?
Lines. Now, that is interesting. I may ask you to draw those lines in a minute in something we call a Bender Gestalt test, which can be very revealing. But lines, let's explore those for a moment. They're very penetrative, aren't they? Very, very thrusting, very male, very masculine. They urge onwards, don't they?
Right. So now at last the layers are beginning to unpeel. This is very important. So we have breasts, we have fear, we have male, thrusting, penetrative, urging, some sort of psychiatric jargon you've picked up from the Reader's Digest. How often would you say you masturbated?
Now, I'm going to be really quite firm now, all right? I'm the doctor, you are the patient.
Yes, that's right.
Now, I'm sorry, I want to hear you say it. I want to hear you say, I am the patient.
What was that?
I am the patient.
Good. That's a breakthrough. Now that you can say that, now that you can admit it, we can proceed. Excellent.
You are the patient.
I am, you are, perhaps we're all patients.
No, I am not a patient.
Now, please remain calm, Mr. Windrush.
Dr. Windrush.
Now, you realise that I only have to lift this phone, you will be restrained.
Yes, hello?
Yes, it's all right,
don't
Rebecca.
worry,
I'm in a session.
Rebecca. We're in the middle of a
Just a patient.
session.
Don't worry about
There's
it.
nothing to worry
about. Now, look, I can't help you unless you stop playing this ridiculous game.
Extraordinary. I don't think I've ever come across a more deeply embedded illusion.
It is not an illusion.
Your last doctor tried you on a course of lentisol, I believe. Did you find that helped at all?
All right, let's go right back to the beginning, shall we? If you are, as you think, a doctor.
Well, I'm sorry, that's the full hour, Mr. Windrush. Should we say same time next week?
Yes, I think I can fit you in same time next week. Perhaps for the next session you could bring some photographs of your parents. That might be useful.
Yes, I think I might try you on a course of hypnosis next time.
And if you'll just confirm that appointment with Rebecca on the way out. Thank you.
Oh, you're both here. Well, I think I'm seeing you first, Mr. Windrush. Would you mind waiting outside, Mr. Johansson? You're a little bit early. Rebecca, 2 teas, please.
Extraordinary.
So deep-seated.
Simply fascinating. Well,
do sit down, Mrs. Medlicott. Mr. Johansson is just a wizard. I've finished my session with him.
Yeah. See, it's quite clever humour.
Yeah, I would say clever, but not so funny. But yeah, it's all right.
Yeah.
I think they've both seen a lot of psychiatrists, though, haven't they?
Yes.
It was quite funny how he was talking about being frightened of breasts as well, because there was this thing about Stephen Fry, because they all lived in a shared house together when they were in Cambridge Footlights, and Emma Thompson appeared at the top of the stairs naked or with her top off, and her breasts, a very large breast exposed. And Stephen Fry was at the bottom of the stairs, and he went into a hissy fit and a panic because he's frightened of breasts, apparently. Yeah.
And also, Stephen Fry had a problem with Rick Mayall on some kind of stage play they were doing and he ran away or something.
He did. He sort of found himself on a ferry to France. He ran away from
Waiting for Godot or something.
Oh, was it? Oh, right.
I'm not sure what it was now.
He has bipolar disorder, which means that you flip between states of manic depression and sort of extroverted, over-the-top energy. And you can find yourself doing shopping sprees and then locking yourself in your room in a dark place. So
Jean-Claude Van Damme has that as well.
Yeah, right. Interesting.
There you go. Anyway, the next one, at number 12 of our list of 20, is 2 amazing guys that we both probably both our favourites, Rick Mayall and
Adrian Edmondson.
Now, who are these guys?
Oh, they're brilliant.
If you haven't heard of them, you should explain about who Rick Mail and Adrian Emerson
I'm not going to mince with words here. They are the best comedy act of the last 40 years. Probably 50 years, really.
Yeah.
Because Filthy Rich and Cat Flap,
humour.
that was really big. Dangerous Brothers was before that. And, Filthy Rich and Cat Flap was before I was aware of comedy. So they must have been going for 50 years, yeah.
I watched the Young Ones when it was on TV. I don't know how old I was, but I remember seeing it. I thought it could have been a repeat, but I loved it, and it was so different. And and it featured. It was about five guys living in the same. Four guys living in the same shared house, like students.
The landlord who used to come in to the house sometimes, played by Alexis Sale.
Yeah, okay. And we had the hippie, we had Mike the cool person, and we had Rick and Adrian, Vivian and Rick, respectively. And they all
Vivian was
very different.
Was what do you call it?
Punk.
Punk, yeah.
Yeah, and Rick Mail was like a poet anarchist who hated the government and loved Cliff Richard, the singer. And then years later they did another show together called Bottom. And I think we should. Well, I think we should show. I was going to show a clip from the Young Ones, but it's my favourite clip of all time. But I might save that for the end of the next pod because that's an honourable mention because Adrian Emerson's not in that. But
we do have to just mention that Rick Mail died a few years back, which was a real
quite a long time ago now.
Yeah,
it was. I've never really been that sad when a celebrity type person or figure has died, but Rick Mail really hit me because I just loved his comedy, and he was really.
He did some good shows on his own, didn't he? He did some serious acting as well. He was in
Rick Mail Presents.
The New Statesman. Was his,
that was good. Yeah,
quite a big show.
Alan Bustard. Yeah, but Bottom was probably one of the best. It's very slapstick, and it had a lot of nods to kind of.
Do you remember? Do you remember Kevin Turvey Investigates?
Yeah, Kevin Turvey.
That was Rick Mail as well.
Yeah, that was him. Yeah, that was good.
Yeah,
but Bottom was probably the best.
Definitely, the pinnacle. Yeah,
and this is a scene when they're going into a sex shop.
Oh yeah.
Because they met these two girls. They're going to meet some. What exactly happened? You remember you?
Well, they were moaning about the fact because they're basically two 40-year-old virgins, and they're always
one of them is.
And they always want to get off with women, and they never quite manage it. And they basically got no money. Neither of them work, and they live in a flat together. And they're reading the newspaper, and they're looking at the wanted ads like for relationships and stuff and dating ads, and then they see this advert for pheromone spray, and they think,
you can
brilliant.
get it in a bottle.
Yeah, if we can buy some of this, spray it on, and then go down the pub, and we can pull some women.
Yeah,
and that's where the fun begins, really.
So they go into the sex shop to try and procure some of this mystical love spray. Let's see what happens.
Can I help you, sir?
This is a sex shop, isn't it?
Yes.
I'll have 5 quid's worth then.
Brilliant joke.
Very droll, sir. I've never heard that one before.
Haven't you? Shall I tell it again?
No, thank you, sir. I'd rather have a pineapple inserted violently into my rectum.
You've been working here too long, mate.
Can I help you, sir? No? Do you wish to purchase anything to assist you with your sex life?
What are you implying? That I'm some sort of sexual inadequate? I have a very full and rich and varied sex life, thank you very much. I don't need anything from a shop like this.
Would you get out then, sir?
No.
Why not?
It's a secret.
We have 2 bottles of pheromone, please.
Pardon?
2 bottles of pheromone, please.
Pheromone? Oh, yes, that's the sex spray for inadequate men who find it impossible to attract women.
Come on, yes.
Isn't it, sir?
I've got no idea. Not being a pervert, I'm not up on these things.
Your sex spray, gentlemen?
I've got it! Fantastic! Give me mine! Let's go! Well done, Doctor.
I'm not a doctor.
Shut up. We are men of science.
Genius.
We live our lives on a higher plane than you do, Buster, where truth and purity and virginity are the only things we respect.
That's right, Richie. Let's get back to the flat, bung a bit of this on, get down the pub and see if we can pick up some birds. Yeah!
We could have showed anything from that episode or anything from the series. You know, we could have showed the clip in the pub after that where they're trying to pull these two lesbians.
Yeah.
Which is just brilliant. And the bit for our audio listeners where he says, "We are men of science," he reaches his hand up and rest it on the shelf, and he grips hold of
a dildo.
What is actually a 10-inch sex toy.
Did you measure it, Simon?
Well, I'm guessing, yeah.
Oh, is it comparable to your?
I'm not. I wouldn't say I wouldn't say it was a skill to estimate the size of such objects, but yeah, no, it's great. Isn't it? And they managed to, create a comic book, a cartoon out of this, because it's live footage of two comedic actors, but. It really is like a cartoon or a comic book, I think,
Yeah. And the fight scenes and the choreography and the stunt work and so much of it is just like the energy.
Yeah, well, they always had that between them, because you see it in the young ones with the violence and in Filthy Rich and Cat Flap, but then, and the Dangerous Brothers as well, it was always there. But I think in Bottom they had totally perfected it. That scene, if you ever get the chance to see, in series 1, I think, called Gas Man.
Yeah, I love that one.
Where the gas man comes around and they've rooted in a illegal gas pipe from the neighbours. And they end up bludgeoning the gas man, they think they've killed him, bludgeoning him to death to get away with it, while he's checking their meter. And they just keep hitting him. Well, Aid Edmondson's got a frying pan and Rick Mail's just using his fist, and the guy's on the floor, and they just keep hitting him again and again and again. It goes on for ages.
Goes on ages.
And the first time I saw it, I just could not stop laughing. It's just utterly perfect slapstick. Absolutely brilliant.
It is. Yeah, I love the whole bit where they're sneaking into the next door neighbour, Mr. Rottweiler's house, and trying not to make any noise. And it's just so stupid. But
bloody hell, they're doing it.
Yeah.
I'll get my camera.
I've got to watch it. That's one of the funniest ever episodes of anything ever.
It is, yeah.
But next, we've got to move on because time is fleeting. Harry Enfield and Kathy Burke. Now, these are two, I would say Harry Enfield is a genius as well, in a different way. He was a master of the sketch show, and creating these characters.
He got really famous with that character, Loads of Money. Do you remember him?
Loads of Money!
Where he used to wave around bundles of tenors and shout, loads of money, loads of money.
Yeah. He was a comedian, actor, and writer and director, and his show was called Harry Enfield's Television Programme. And he worked with some other guys, some other people. A guy called Paul Whitehouse,
who was a genius.
Who's another genius,
and a brilliant actor, by the way,
the
character actor.
Yeah,
this is the guy who Johnny Depp worked with briefly, and Johnny Depp said he's the best character actor he's ever met or ever seen perform.
Yeah, just because they're on TV don't mean they're shite. So Harry Enfield had a lot of characters. Kevin the Teenager, Loads of Money, Smashy and Nicey, the Scouters, Tim Nice but Dim, and the one I like, you don't want to do it like that, you want to do it like this.
As well.
When I was a kid, that was my favourite.
And
he was like the annoying dad.
The teenager one as well. What's that one?
Kevin, yeah.
Well,
and that was funny.
Is that Kevin? Yeah, it is Kevin, isn't it? And then
Kevin.
they did Kevin and Perry after that.
Yeah, he was an annoying teenager. He was so hyperactive. And then they did an episode in a later series where he changed to a teenager. Yeah. And it's like a horror movie.
It was like a Doctor Who transformation from...
Yeah, he's lost the use of his
child
arms
to teenager.
And his speech. He's becoming a teenager. Yeah. And then he became a teenager. And then his best mate, Perry, was played by as a boy, but played by a girl called Kathy Burke.
She's brilliant. You just wouldn't know it was a woman. I think she's fantastic.
Yeah, and
so funny.
you know Kathy Burke. She's an English actress and comedian.
Brilliant, yeah.
First, and she was in Absolutely Fabulous as well. And
was she? I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah. She starred in Gimme Gimme Gimme.
Oh, I liked that. That was brilliant. Yeah.
That
was
her.
I didn't realise that.
She also won the Cannes Film Festival for her role in the film Nil by Mouth as well. So she got a prestigious award.
Yeah, really
Best actress.
talented. Yeah, excellent.
And she got a BAFTA.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, but she teamed up with Harry Enfield and did some characters. She did the Kevin and Perry one, which also did a movie, which is hilarious.
I mean, it's so good that somebody backed them financially to do a movie, which is impressive, isn't it? For these days, I mean, for comedy duos, there's not many that transition into films.
Yeah, and one of Harry Enfield's most memorable segments on this sketch show was that of the slobs, Wayne and Waynetta. Also, Kathy Burke and Harry Enfield.
Yeah.
So this was about a benefit-dependent lower-class couple with a lack of personal hygiene who spend most of their time smoking cigarettes or eating pizzas.
Yeah.
Wayne and Waynetta argue constantly about everything, including the name of their child, who eventually named Frog Mellor.
Oh, that's right. I was trying to remember the name. It's brilliant.
Yeah, so they were brilliant. Here's an example. Let's have an example of the slobs because they were really cool.
What time's bottom on?
It ain't on anymore. It's Newman and Bedell instead.
Oh, well, let's watch that then.
No, Wayne, it's too intellectual for you.
Well, they say Willie sometimes, don't they?
No, Wayne, they're from Cambridge University. They say Penise.
Penise?
Yes, it's posh for knob. Anyway.
What are you doing?
I am turning the television off.
What? Why?
Because every night since we've got married, all we've done is watch television.
Yeah, so what?
So tonight, for a change, I thought we'd have it off.
I don't want to have it off with you, Waynetta. You stink.
Have the television off.
Oh. Why?
Because I thought, for a change, we might have a conversation.
A what?
A conversation.
All right, then you start.
Right.
Thinking.
I wonder what the weather will be like tomorrow.
So do I. Let's turn the telly on and find out.
No, Wayne. The weather forecast ain't on for another couple of hours.
Well, let's turn it on now, lest we forget to watch and miss the forecast completely.
No, Wayne. Let's try politics. What do you think of Blair, then?
I think he's very good on Give Us a Clue.
Not Lionel Blair, Tony Blair.
Who's Tony Blair?
He's the leader out of the Labour Party.
Who's the Labour Party?
Oh, never mind. Let's try art.
You don't know nothing about art.
I have a smattering of knowledge.
All right, then name a painter.
All right. Pistachio. Turnip. Vangelis.
Vangelis.
Dick Van Dyke. Let's try literature. Did you enjoy the last book you read?
Not really, no. I gave up halfway through. I found the plot a little complicated.
Did you, Wayne?
Yes, I did, Waynetta.
Oh, what a crying shame. And what was this book?
Spot the Dog.
Yeah, there's an example of the slobs. They're brilliant. I love them.
And the scary thing is there are actually people who are like that.
Yeah, I want to show you another little clip. I want to have a little...
They walk
clip
among
because-
us. Yeah.
What's that?
What?
What? Oh, this is another clip. This is Kevin and Perry. Oh, you got to see this. This is the same two, but they're playing kid. They're the growing up teenager Kevin and his mate Perry.
Kevin! 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 Kevin!
What?
You know Mary Parsons coming to see me? Are you listening to me?
Yes!
Well, she's bringing Lucy with her.
Oh, come on. I'm going out.
No, Kevin. I want to have a proper chat to Mary, and I want you to look after Lucy for the afternoon.
Bloody hell, Mum, why? She's your bloody friend. No!
Come on, Kevin. You've always got on fine with Lucy.
I haven't bloody seen her since I was 6.
Kevin, I want you to behave.
So unfair.
Hello, Mary. Come in to see you.
Hello, Kevin. How are you?
Oh, Miss Parkin, very well, thank you.
Lucy. You remember Lucy, don't you?
Hello.
Hello.
I think we get the idea.
Perry. Pelzo. Perry. Perry, don't go home.
Okay, that's enough.
Do you remember being 14 and getting an erection at the least little thing? I was just me. Was it?
Yeah, because you don't have much control over it.
No, all that testosterone kicking off. And,
yeah. It did happen sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
Not quite as.
Doesn't happen much now.
Oh, well, speak for yourself, mate.
Not
You're
without
off the booze and
not
the
without
fags.
the Viagra.
Right, so I think we should do one more before we call this second pod, and then we do the final 6 in the final pod. Because so let's do our final one. Simon, tell us about these next two, known as White House and Hickson, because they go quite well with the last two.
Yeah,
we mentioned Paul Whitehouse before.
We did. He was the guy who Johnny Depp said was the greatest character actor he'd ever seen, and
wow.
He is superb. You know, you can't really tell his characters, tell that his characters are him a lot of the time, and you know they're all so different, and he just gets into the role so well, and the accent and everything, and it's funny, you know, just really funny. And one of the things, I think we're going to show a clip of the sketch from the Fast Show. Which
I love the Fast Show.
Yeah, which is I can't remember his name, but the character. One character is a landowner who lives in a mansion, and the other character is Ted, who Paul Whitehouse plays.
Oh, Ralph is the. I thought Ralph was.
Ted is.
one of the two. Oh yeah, Ted is the.
Oh yeah, it's Ralph. That's right. Yeah, the landowner guy is called Ralph. Yeah, and Ted is the sort of guy who looks after the land and
caretaker and gardener.
Mends the fences and paints the gates and everything. And there's this sort of. It's a brilliant sketch because there's this ongoing underlying theme that the landowner guy is quite actually single and quite lonely, and he sort of fancies Ted, maybe. We don't really know, but it's sort of obvious that he fancies him and he wants to take him out to shows and theatres and stuff, and he's always sort of approaching him and saying, you know, do you like French cinema, Ted? I was thinking going to a Gerard Depardieu film. And so this is another sketch which is just like that, where he's trying to ask him to come to London with him to see a show.
Let's have a look.
Yeah, it's great.
There you are, Ted. Morning.
Good morning, sir.
I see you painted the gate. Sorry, I beg your pardon, Ted.
A fox got in with the chicken, sir.
Right, yes. Are you doing anything on Friday, Ted?
Well, there's plenty to do down in the lower field, sir, what with the drainage problem.
No, you misunderstand me, Ted. I did mean in the evening. It's just I have a couple of tickets for Tina Turner.
All right, sir.
Do you like Tina Turner, Ted?
I wouldn't know about that, sir.
No. Have you ever been to Wembley Arena, Ted?
No, sir.
No? Oh, it's marvellous. It's very big.
Oh, it's a big place, is it, sir?
It's very big indeed. Indeed it is. Should have to stay over, of course. But you'd like London, I think, Ted. We could go shopping together. I'm not sure about that, sir. No. Well, I shall have to be pushing off to Winslow, Ted. I pick up a prescription. So, I'll leave you doing whatever it is you're doing here, and, I shall say goodbye. Yes, goodbye.
Bye, sir.
Do I love you, my oh my? River deep, mountain high.
Singing Tina Turner at the end.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
They're both brilliant actors. I love just watching them, the mannerisms. If you are on the audio podcast, definitely try to get over to have a look at our YouTube channel, because just to see that clip, or look it up somewhere else, because it's just the mannerisms and the fear in Paul Whitehouse's eyes when he's saying these things, and then when he just extends it a little bit further. We can go shopping, and the fear in his eyes when he says that is just brilliant. You know? Absolutely superb. The accent is superb. It's just fantastic.
The Fast Show is a weird show because it's a catchphrase show, and the first episode you watch, it's like, what's this shit? And then you keep watching it, and it gets funnier and funnier and funnier, and it ends up being one of the best shows you've ever seen. And a lot of these shows, at least like Ted and Ralph, they had their own series that spun off from the Fast Show. So Ted and Ralph had a whole big film, feature film kind of thing, and the Car Salesman one, and they all did. They all had their own series. And they fleshed out the characters, and it was brilliant. And it's down to the writing, down to the acting of Paul Whitehouse and friends. And also some of the
I think Higson's brilliant as well. You know, I mean, it's the thing is, it's easy to feel or to get sidelined when you're standing next to Paul Whitehouse, but I think Higson in his own right is excellent. You know, he's brilliant.
Yes.
And Paul, the other thing that's interesting is we were talking about Only Fools and Horses in the last episode, wasn't it? I think, and the old granddad was such a popular character and such a well-known character, and Paul Whitehouse recently played the granddad in the stage show in London, the stage show of Only Fools and Horses.
Oh wow! See, it all links up. All these things link up.
Yeah, I'm not sure the stage show got that much acclaim, but his character of the granddad was superb, apparently. Yeah.
Well, you know, when people get too old, they can't play the parts forever, and I wonder if they've written a will. They probably have. Even like your will, Simon. Did you know about your will?
My will? What's that?
Because if you look at our golden nugget, you might find out about your will.
Oh, really? Is it that time?
Yeah.
And now it's time for our special feature, the Golden Nugget.
This is, again, if you didn't know what these, I was digging out these tapes from 30 years ago, and finding little snippets of conversation when me and Simon were 30 years younger. So let's have a listen to this one.
If I die, I hereby bequeath everything to everyone.
Well,
idiot.
I won't get much then, will I? Like this. Oh, that's to everyone. It won't go round, will it?
Everything.
Oh, right, that's nice. Everyone can have what they want.
Yeah.
Yeah, great.
No, it's not everyone can have what they want. It's like everything belongs to everyone. It filters the world separately.
And if everything belongs to everyone, then everyone can have what we'll try and get what they want. There'll be mass fights and arguments and wars over property and land, and riots in the streets. And the seas will turn crimson.
Wow! And on that note,
I can't believe we were such idiots. But yeah, nothing's changed really, is it?
No.
We have got older and wiser, haven't we?
Older, definitely.
Oh well.
Wow.
Right,
I think that's we've done. How many have we done now? How many have we got left? Because we're going to continue this amazing. I hope you're enjoying this as much as we are. Because watching back through these old comedy clips is amazing. Amazing stuff. And we've done 14 of them now. So that means we've got 6 more left. And we might even have a quick guess, a pick of our favourites and fight over them.
Yes. Do a top 10 or a top 5. Maybe.
Top 5 of all, let's see what happens. But please comment below, like and subscribe, because we are the Pompey Eclectic, and we are cool.
We are.
We think so anyway. I'm a little bird here.